Why, hello there, everybody, and welcome back to the Independence Public Library's Science Time. As always, I am part-time scientist Mr. Alex, and today we're going to be doing a really cool experiment that I like to call seed germination. And you might think, what is seed germination? Well, seed germination, or rather germination in general, is the process of a seed growing into a new plant. So, for example, think you start with an apple seed and you plant the apple seed and out of the ground sprouts an apple tree. Or you plant a pumpkin seed and out eventually grows a new pumpkin plant. Or you plant a sunflower seed and eventually out comes a sunflower. So what we're going to be doing today is learning about the process of seed germination in plants. With me, I'm going to be using lima beans for that. However, this experiment also works if you not just have access to lima beans, but also if you had access to pumpkin seeds, like mentioned before, or sunflower seeds also work great. Let's get our materials ready. So like I said, you're going to need your seed of choice. For us, we're using lima beans, but like I said, pumpkin seeds are also great for this. Sunflower seeds are also great to see if you got access to those instead. We're also going to need paper towels. We're going to need some water, and this is an old spray bottle that I've used, cleaned out and just filled with water. We're going to need a little plastic baggie, and finally we're going to need a window with access to the sun. So now that we've got all of the materials out and ready and gone over them, let's get started. So what we're going to do first is, if you have the time and you want to, you can get the germination process jump-started if you want to take some of your seeds and put them into a container and fill it with water and leave it overnight. That's not required, but if you do want to do that, that can speed up the actual germination process by a little bit if you've got the time. But we can just jump right into it right here. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take paper towel of either probably one or two of these little paper towel squares, and then we're going to fold it up until it'll fit into whatever plastic baggie we've got. Got that folded. Nice, it will fit right in there. Okay, perfect. So next what we're going to do is we're going to spritz this with our water. And you can, if you don't have access to a spray bottle, you can also just run it under some cool water, just, you know, a really short amount of time, and that should get about the same effect. Okay, perfect. Get it so it's like damp and soaked basically all the way through. Then what we're going to do is with this, our newly wetted paper towel, we're going to open up our little baggie, and we're going to slide it inside the baggie. Just like so. And now that it's in here, this is going to be our kind of pseudo or fake soil that we're planting our seeds into. So now what we're going to do is we're going to grab some of our seeds and we're going to try and arrange them on here in a way that gives them enough space that they can grow out from each other. But we're still going to want to put enough in here that, you know, we've got multiple seeds that we can see, you know, germinate. So opening back up, going to put seeds all over the inside of here on the wet paper towel. And this experiment also works if you put the seeds inside the folded paper towel. But the reason I like doing it this way is so we can actually see the seeds germinate as they do so. Okay, and like that you can see that we've got all of our seeds into position. They might have been soaked overnight if you had time to do that, but if not, this should also work. And we are almost done. The only thing that we have to do now is we need to find our window with access to sunlight, and we're going to stick it in there. Imagine, oh, a window right there. And we're going to tape that into the window. The nice thing about this, though, is I would be sticking it on the inside, and I could tape it so that the seeds are facing me so I can see them. Okay, I'm going to go find my actual window now, and I'm going to go tape these in to the window so that they can get some sunlight. Okay, so as you saw, all we had to do was just take a little piece of tape and just stick it up there in the window. Like I said, I had the seeds facing on the inside so I could still see it. And don't worry, that's not going to be a problem. The rays from the sun will still be able to get through the paper towel and hit the seeds. But while we're waiting on our seeds to do some stuff, let's go over the process that we're going to be watching. So, while we might be done with the seed germination process for the most part, we just have to wait, it is going to be some time before we see some stuff happen. I would say it might be a couple of days before you see anything happen with our seeds. They might get bigger over the next couple of days if you haven't soaked them before. And even then, if you do that, it's going to be a little bit before you see them actually, start growing things out of them. Anywhere from probably 3 days to a week before we can see some big results. So this isn't something that you're probably going to be able to see the results of today, and that's okay. And it'll be fun, I would say, every day just check up on them and see if they've grown or changed at all. But let's think about what they're doing right now. So in the process of seed germination, we can think about what happens as a series of steps. And the first step is seeds are filled with water. And that's why we spritzed the paper towel with our water and soaked it for the seeds to go on. Those seeds are going to suck up the water from the paper towel, and as the seeds are filled with water, special proteins in the seed called enzymes are activated, and it tells the seed it is time to start growing. And so what it starts doing is, at that point, it starts growing roots. And let me grab an example seed. If we imagine a seed is right here, if it starts growing roots, I think you know of roots. They are the little parts of the plant that go deep down into the ground. And so what the roots do is they come downwards and they look for water that the seed can use as a resource. The same way we need to drink water, plants also need to drink water. And so it creates roots to do so. Once it's got some firm roots into the ground, it creates another part of it that we call the shoot. So the roots go down, the shoots go up, and the shoot will come up out of the dirt or wherever it is and look for the sun. And if it sees the sun in the sky over there, it'll try to point itself in that direction. And finally, as part of this process, the shoot will grow leaves, like on trees, like on flowers, on just about any plant you can think of. There's leaves usually. And these leaves are just big receptors that are designed to grab the sunshine, to grab the energy from the sun rays. And it turns that energy into basically food for the plant, in a process you might have heard of called photosynthesis. And that's really like the last part. Once a plant is fully germinated, it's able to create its own energy out of the rays of the sun. And so that's what we are witnessing, the birth of this plant from a seed that we put into the ground and watch, the germination process eventually becoming its own plant. And so definitely keep an eye out so you can watch your seeds germinate over the next few days. It will take a little bit, but I think it'll be well worth it. It's super cool. But I actually started germinating some seeds about a week ago. They're up in a different window, and I think I'm going to go grab them so I can show to you what you might have to expect to see in just a week. So I'll be right back. Okay, and here they are. As you can see, in the time that I've had them up there, it looks like they've kind of fallen from their position. But I think you can still tell the difference. Let's open this bag up so we can see them a bit more closely. Yeah, look at that. It's already started growing pieces. The big root right there is coming off of our seed, looking for more water. And you see there's another one that started to open up from the outer casing of our lima bean and is sprouting roots. And the further you go, you can keep seeing that it looks like all of our little beans have started to grow their little roots and started their germination process. Some of them getting a bit farther than others. Look at, whoa, whoa, the outer shell came off. But look at that. Look at that just wind around. It looks almost like a little tadpole. Very, very cool. And it's kind of opened up, splitting the actual seed itself as it's trying to turn into a new plant. And on the inside, you can actually see a leaf starting to form. So there's our germination process in action. All of these cool different parts of the seeds, all of the roots growing. Look at that. And if you let these continue to germinate, they should continue to grow for at least a bit longer. But at around this point, you could probably take this, and if you had somewhere that you could, either your yard or a pot or something else, you could take a pot or anything filled with soil and you could plant it. And then it can continue the germination process and not just, sprout these little roots that we can see in a bag, but actually turn into a full plant that you could have in your yard, in your garden, in a pot in your house. And it's all through this process of germination where we see our seeds turn into full plants. Really, really, really cool stuff, and I think perfect for this spring weather where it's, warming up and there's more sun for our little seeds to get their energy for. So I hope you enjoyed this science time, and I really hope that you had a whole lot of fun with planting your seeds, and I hope that at least a few of you out there actually try to plant your seeds after you've seen them germinate. On that note, have a wonderful rest of your day, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.